Happy Friday, beautiful people. Oh, it's a beautiful day out here in Balboa Park in San Diego. One of the many opportunities I have to just come and work in so many locations. I absolutely am beyond grateful for that. So as I park myself here to do some work today, I actually wanted to talk to you guys about a couple things about fight or flight, about our systems being in fight or flight and what that can do, and how to resolve some of that. And I want to talk to you about our reactivity also, and being in fight or flight. So, okay, so this morning I was actually irritated because, and when I was on my way to go take a sauna and a float down here in San Diego, and what they do is they basically recalibrate like the centers of your brain. You sit in a salt bath, the sauna, it's quiet time, it's completely dark, it's beautiful, and it just resets you. So as I was on my way to do that this morning, I'd been pretty flustered. I was really irritated over something that happened with somebody I know, and then I'm fairly close with, but their level of reactivity really got to me. So something silly happened, I'm sure it does to all of us. We have goofy things happen in our lives, and people come to us and want to bring us something, some information, and they have an agenda about typically, so this person was bringing me this information, and they brought it in a very disruptive, very angry, very angst-filled way, and it was like it slapped me over the face basically, and how they brought it to me. And it was not needed like a conversation. It's just a conversation. I'm super easy to deal with. Just talk to me, but don't come at me. I don't like when people come at me. So I was really set off this morning because of that, and so I was grateful to be going to this sauna to kind of decompress me. And I actually made a video, but I decided not to post it. But I was really pissed off, honestly. This person was trying to get their point across so much to me that they messaged me even at 2 o'clock in the morning and woke me up, and it kept me up for another hour and a half. I was really angry. So that's why it kind of set me in that state today. And it had been in me yesterday from the conversation, and then it reset it over. So when we're in angst or fight or flight, or when we are very reactive people, when we're in a very reactive state, when we have not done our work, I'm going to say this again, when we have not done a lot of our work, because although doing our work is very hard, a lot of us haven't done much of any work at all on ourselves, on our souls, and on our heart, on what's gone on, and trying to figure out what's happened to us, and in trying to figure out what the hell the problem is with us, what our issues are, why we can't communicate, like whatever our problems are. We have all done a different amount of work on it, but a lot of people have not done work and are just now at the point where they're starting to do some work. So when we have not done work on ourselves and we come across to other people, and literally we just try to when we communicate with people, it's interesting because what happens is whatever our internal reality that's going on is, it will be reflected on the outside. So whatever it is that I'm thinking about myself, feeling about myself, constantly processing over or mulling over, those are going to be the things that you're going to hear come out of my mouth. So my behavior is very indicative of my internal environment, very indicative of my internal environment. So as this person is coming off to me, it's very indicative of their fight or flight that they're in all the time. They have a shitload of anxiety, and they don't do any energetic work, like big fat zero. And they're around people who don't do energetic work too. And I even complained to this person that the energy is bad, and they're like, yeah, sure. But it's starting to affect me. So it's interesting because when we have bad energy, when we come off to other people, when we have not done our energy work, when we are in fight or flight, or in angst, or in a place of not having healed ourselves or done our work, then what happens is just simple things like conversations really that are about nothing or nothing of that much importance become very stress-filled, not just for you, but for other people too, because your shit comes off on other people. And we always talk about the fact that our unkept stuff goes off on other people, and I think that we can all vouch for that, having grown up and had parents and had to deal with things. So with that in mind, just speaking to the conversation and how when we are in this angst state or fight or flight, what's genuinely happening to us is we are very reactive, which is what I mentioned in the beginning. And most people, I'm going to say Americans, most people out here are just in like kick-ass reactive state. They're not in proactive, they're not in peaceful, they're not in peacemaking, they're not in kind-hearted or kind-spirited, they're just in reactive mode. So I want you to think about your level of reactivity, your level of openness, your level of fight or flight in your system. How much fight or flight are you in? How much angst are you in? How much is that controlling you? Just think about all those things. We all have issues. We all have stuff to clean up. And my bucket of stuff is different than your bucket of stuff. But it's just mine, and I have to clean mine up. You got to clean yours up. So think about cleaning your stuff up on your side of the street, what that may look like. Doing things to and for yourself that would give you the opportunity so you no longer have to have conversations that are filled with your pain or filled with your angst. You know, I don't think people would really I think if people really understood how bad we were coming off to other people energetically, I don't think that we'd want to be coming off as bad as we are. We tell ourselves that we're not so bad, or we tell ourselves, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but energetically speaking, we're really kind of shitting on each other. And so this is just my video to talk about the amount of angst, fight or flight, and the amount of shitting on each other that we're doing, and trying to pull that back, because there's really no need to crap on each other. It's time for us to deal with our own stuff, get our systems out of fight or flight, do the energetic work, prioritize ourselves, prioritize our life, get us out of that, because we are spilling our crap on other people, and it does not feel good on other people. So I don't know about you, but I no longer want to spill my stuff on other people. So okay, I'm done ranting about that for now. But as I was on my way to the float and the sauna, it was interesting because myself and my partners, we have a wellness program. Part of our wellness program, we put people, like I think it's the detoxify one, we put people through the sauna and the float. And it's interesting because I did it maybe a couple times already, but it's been different every time. The first time it didn't really affect me because it was a process of acclimating my body out of this fight or flight, this very responsive state that I'm talking to you about, that I was in and I witnessed somebody I knew in earlier, and how that really does affect us. So as I was in this flow, in this sauna this morning, it was really interesting because I really felt myself pulling back off of energetically the fight or flight and that angst state, and that genuine level of anxiety that I think most of us live with. It's almost like a shitty vibration. Like it was just like a panic that stayed in my system that I was vibrating at, and I didn't know how to stop. So it was different for me today because I was able to really release what it is that I needed to. And I felt like I could see a little bit more clearly. I feel like I could hear a little bit more clearly, like I could be more receptive or more responsive to the calmness that the situation offered me, and the brain balancing capabilities that the salt bath and the float had for me, and just to really give myself an opportunity to reset. And it was just so interesting because it felt different for me this time, like it's pulling the trauma of the world off of me. And that, you know, I do a lot of things to balance myself, but this definitely, the salt bath really, it really helped me. And the float, being able to sit in the weightlessness, being able to sit in that place of calmness and no resistance and no angst, no big fat zero to that fight or flight, no fight or flight. That's the goal, guys. Get yourself out of fight or flight. That's what we want. We want to stay out of fight or flight. So putting ourselves in a position where we can successfully decompress from what it is that we've done and we've been through, because this world is very energetically heavy. I still don't even necessarily know the full parameters as I'm working through all the crap in my life. But as I discover the different incremental levels of what I'm going through and what I'm trying to peel off and deliver them to you, I really hope that you think about getting yourself into something that can offer you some detoxification as well, because I didn't realize how much toxicity my system had in it. I know I had a lot going on, but toxicity wise I didn't know. So do something for yourself to offer yourself some solace from the toxicity of the world, and by all means stop toxifying yourself. So like if you do things that are toxic and keep you in fight or flight, or keep you in angst, or keep your mind frame in that of this world, you probably should stop, because you're probably being an asshole to people if you are. Because a lot of people, if they are in the world, they're of the world and they act like it. So try not to act like you're of this world, and try to just act like you're in this world, and try to act like a connected being to everybody else, like we all are, have responsibilities to each other, and we don't just get to be messy on each other anymore, because it's very important to increase the vibration overall on the planet, as that's the goal. Thank you all for hanging with me. You know, a journey, I find things, I figure this out, and I try to pass it on to you. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Pass this on to anybody who you know is in fight or flight, angst, is dealing with a bunch of other people's shit, needs to learn how to deal with communication, or maybe clean their own communication, or clean their own mess up. Send this to them. Be like, hint, hint, here you go. And and head to my website at drayalove.com. Y'all can check me out for soul contract readings, for appointments, for coaching. I can really offer you some incredible opportunities to find yourself at drayalove.com. In and with love, y'all. It's me on a Friday in Balboa Park. Draya Love.